Welcome everybody to the Grimdark Breakdown. We're going to be doing a health check on Aeldari. So Aeldari is actually near and dear to me. They're the faction I picked up this year to start. I'm doing a full custom Aeldari army. That is my project for 2026. Yep, that's what year that is. And, it's funny because this is like the one time where it's good to pick up Aeldari. And the reason I say that is because it's like the one time that they're bad. So you don't get hell for playing the space elves that are normally a pretty strong army. But let's jump straight in. So damage output. I think their damage is okay. I think they're a solid B student. I don't think they're an A student any longer. They have great tools like fire prisms, like this unit with warp spiders, howling banshees, Janes are. We've got good units that can do some good killing. The problem that I have found is that they really struggle when an army has a ton of inbones. They really struggle when an army has what I'll call like a balanced list. So if everything's big stompy monsters, you can focus fire in and kind of do your thing. But I played a guard player and he had a 25-man brick, and then he had Bulgrim, and then he had 3 Rogals. And it was like, ugh, like having the profiles to go into all of them, in your list, can be difficult to do that and still play the game. So I think they're a B army when it comes to damage output. Not bad, not good, just kind of right down the middle. Durability. So there's a reason there's no picture here. We don't have anything that's durable. Even like the Avatar or, Race, if you want to take them, they just, durability is a problem. They're not cheap enough that you can just keep flooding like, units out there like Gene Stealers here on the screen. But at the same time, you don't have something like that. Hey, I'm going to go flip this point and there's a chance it's going to survive and score me primary on the next turn. It's highly unlikely. It's probably going to get obliterated as soon as something looks at it. So durability is a problem. And typically armies that struggle with the durability, they make up for it in the damage because they just try to kill them. And that seems to be the mindset right now of elves is I'm going to just kill the opponent off the board. Where the problem with that comes in is that when your damage isn't, right at that top tier, then the durability starts feeling worse. Mobility, we're a 10 out of 10. I think we might be the best army in the game at this, or tied for the best. Everything feels like it moves a million miles an hour. I mean, default movement of most of our units is something like 12 to 14 inches. You can give stuff +2, or assault, it's just really strong, really strong. Getting places is not a scoring. I break scoring into 2 categories. I give 5 points to primary and 5 points to secondary. I think we are a 5 out of 5 on secondary. Our movement and the size of our units being so small, I think it is very, very easy for us to score high on secondaries. That should never be a problem with your army. Problem is primary. Scoring primary, because our durability is low and our damage is not top tier, scoring stuff outside of your home point and your natural expansion is tough. You can flip them, don't get it twisted, but being able to hold them afterwards and survive on there, that can be the part that becomes really tough. So that's why I'm only giving them a 6 out of 10. We are a failing student when it comes to scoring. Internal balance. My picture's a little bit here tongue in cheek because they have forgot that most of these units actually exist in the game. Thanks, GW. But it is one of those situations where I do think that our balance, and a lot of armies are like this, I understand. Elves, I feel like with the current state of elves, are every list that's doing okay outside of the clown list, which are just like the one-offs, they are 80% of the exact same list. Lycus, with his warps, and then Jane's are with her howling banshees, 3 fire prisms, and between your howling banshees, your warp spiders, and your swooping hawks, you're at, let's see, 3, 6, 900. You add the leaders, you got like 1,400 points just in 3 data sheets. By the time you add the fire prisms, you're probably at like 1,600 points across basically like 4 data sheets and leaders. So it definitely feels like there's not a lot there, and we're just leaning on the few data sheets we have left that are really, really strong to try to help carry. All right, skill. Again, I'm going to score us a little low. Two reasons. One, I believe Eldar is a tough army to play. They are an expression army. So a lot of the time, the strong army, in a game can be really easy. So the example I'd give right now is Necrons, Catan spamming, very easy to play. You push your big monster up the board. You hope that you roll good dice on your defensive save. Then you go, I'm going to charge you. You move it forward and you swing your stick at it and it dies. It's a pretty straightforward game plan. Aeldari is a lot more of stick and move, stick and move, stick and move, run around, get cheeky angles, do reactive moves, do all these different things. And to do all of those, you have to be able to play the turn you're in, and where do you think the turn's going to go, and what do I think the other player's going to do. You got to be able to act and react. And because of that, I would naturally, like any expression army, I immediately am going to ding 2 points, because that means that you've got to know that army very well, or you're going to forget their rules. Therefore, it's going to be easy. So like I pick on Guard all the time. I love Guard. I think they're an awesome army. But like Guard is an example. If you were playing their index, just having lethals, it's like my vehicles are lethal against their vehicles. My infantry is lethal against their infantry. Check and check. Easy to remember. But when it's like, okay, I got to remember this or this or this, okay, that's tougher, So it because it has that skill element in there, I do think it does pump it up. And then the fact that they're also clearly underpowered right now means to win games, you need to not make mistakes. You've got to be able to play a very good game of Warhammer. You've got to be very methodical with your turns. And if you make mistakes, you're probably going to get punished. Meta matchups, man. Okay, so we've talked about this on the Meta Monday video. These 4 armies have pretty much been dominating the meta. Obviously, there's Necrons in their own category, and then these other 3 are when there's not a good Necron player at the tournament, these other 3 are pretty much like they're either second and third, or they're winning the tournament when there's not a good Necron player. I think we struggle into all of them. Everyone struggles into Necrons right now. I think in a normal meta, so let's say they nerf Catans, how would we do into Necrons? I think they're still going to be tough. If they're running the 20-man Necron bricks with still 2 Catan and, a bunch of other stuff, we don't have the damage output to just be able to punch through it all, or the durability to withstand the crackback. Same thing with Space Marines. Space Marines do more damage than us and are more durable than us. So by that simple logic, like we beat them on movement, and that's it. So we dance around them, but they hit harder and they can take more punches. It's hard. Guard is close to our movement, not quite as much, but their tanks, with move can get 13 and grizzled, then they can redo their order, so then they get take aim afterwards. So our 14-inch tanks versus their 13, yes, we can have assault and things like that, but they move. Their tanks are stronger than our tanks, and they've got 25-man bricks that are tough for us to remove. They've got med packs that heal, and and Bulgrim also are a pain profile for us. The -1 damage, even when your Howling Banshees go in, they're all only doing 1 damage a swing. They got 4 health a pop. It's a bad matchup. And then T-Sun's 30 Terminators at 2 up, 4 up is a nightmare for us. It is not something we want to do. Like, we are basically predicated on, can we jail them and play the game? And they have a lot of flamers. Because of all those reasons, I think we struggle into the top of the meta, let alone just where our army is. All right, consistency. So everything we've talked about, what that boils down to is we are not a consistent army. You're going to play one game and your Fire Prism is going to one-shot an enemy, small tank. It's going to do 12 damage to it, just like that, and it's going to be like, holy mackerel. And then you're going to fire a 3rd shot from another one through it in, and then boom, their Lancer's dead on turn 1. And you're like, well, that felt great. Or their Repulsor Executioner, or their Lehman Russ, or whatever, right? Just do 18 damage flat out, bang. That feels great. Your Howling Banshees are going to connect, and they're going to blend through like 19 of a 20-man guard squad. And you're going to be like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. And then on the next game, you're going to go out there and you're going to punch, and you're going to kill 400 points on your go turn. They're going to turn around and they're going to kill 800 points of your elves in response. And you're going to go, uh-oh. So it's just that because their durability is so low and their damage isn't what it once was. I feel like they play a lot of like swinging games where when some of their D6 dice happens to proc high, it can help pull them up, but that's not a sustainable game plan to win games. Final score 6.4, man. They are a D student. They are about to fail the class. They have the lowest win rate, like I said earlier, lower than agents right now. So I do expect that here in about a month when we get the data slate, they are going to probably roll back some of the changes. Neither of the new detachments just feel like world beaters that are going to like help elevate them. I have played, I think, 6 games now with the Corsair detachment, and I think it's cool. I think it's flavorful. I do not think it's competitive. I'm going to start playing the other one now. I'm going to get 5 or 6 reps into it so I can get a feel for it. I played one, but I think they're in a tough spot right now. I think elves need, they either need, and I hope they don't do this, they either need their points reduced so that we're running more MSU and we're just putting more bodies out there. I hope they don't do that. Um, or realistically, maybe touch up the wraiths so that we have a durable unit that can go out there, stand on a point, take a shot or two, and potentially live through to hold the point. Or if you want us to be a glass cannon again, then you gotta let us have damage. Fugit and the fire dragons was not the problem. The problem was they shot and got in the car and it made people feel bad. And so people didn't like it. And so that's why it got nerfed. Not that it was broken. So hopefully this helps you guys. If you're getting ready to play Eldari or if you are playing Eldari, let me know if you disagree with me. Let me know if you agree with me, and let me know who you'd like to see next. Drop a like for the Emperor and subscribe for more content. It really helps the channel, helps us grow, and helps us put out more content like this. Thanks, y'all.